My name is Will Cord and I'm the host of Ready, Set, Renovate. Our podcast is produced in the upstate of South Carolina where I happen to live and our business, Daniel Builders, is located. Ready, Set, Renovate is dedicated to making home renovations a delightful and drama-free process. Drama is fun when it's on HGTV, but not so much fun when your own home is at stake. We discuss real-life home renovations and all they entail while equipping you to edit out the renovation craziness. Along the way, we pack in some inspiration for your own home. March 11th was World Plumbing Day. In honor of that day, we're bringing on a special plumber. His name is Garth George. He works for Trusted Tradesmen. He's a third-generation plumber, and he has plenty to share on this episode of Ready, Set, Renovate. So if you're feeling at all drained about your plumbing needs, let's get to it. Garth, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time to have this conversation. You work for Trusted Tradesmen.
Yes, sir.
It's a neat organization. There's a couple different trades involved. One of those is plumbing,
Yes, sir.
which is what you head up.
Yes, sir. Been there for a little over 2.5 years now.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, third generation plumber, originally from Georgia. Started going to work with my dad and grandpa when I was 5 years old, soldering pipes together, driving skid steers, whatever was available to me.
At 5?
At 5 years old.
Wow, got started early.
I got very, very lucky with a family and family friends who pushed me to do that kind of hard labor and kind of stuff like that. So I was learning to drive all this equipment and learned to weld when I was 12. So I've always been around construction.
You can tell us a little bit too also about Trusted Tradesmen.
So we've got the custom cabinetry division, electrical division, and the plumbing division. We kind of operate as 3 separate entities, but the great thing about Trusted Tradesmen is we can work together when we need to. So if we're doing a job that also is doing the cabinetry, I can call them like, hey, what's the cabinet specs? Do I need to accommodate for the plumbing or anything like that? Same thing with electrical. It's like, hey, I'm putting this water heater here. Don't forget that you need to have this kind of stuff installed. So that's the great thing about Trusted Tradesmen. And we also push forward really good communication. That's one thing I love about our company is I hate when people just, don't show up or like say they're going to do something, they don't do it. So we make sure that we're communicating well.
That likely resonates with somebody out there, and they're probably saying to themselves, man, I wish I had that. I can't get my plumber to call me back.
Oh yeah, we've had so many different builders where we've had to go in and finish out brand new houses because their plumber just wouldn't come back.
Just complete no show.
Just completely wouldn't show up.
What are some of the different categories of plumbing that are out there? I know it's easy to think, hey, plumber's a plumber's a plumber. Tell us about the different types of plumbers.
There's 3 main types. We got service work, remodeling, and new work. Remodeling, it's adding bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. You need to have an understanding of what a system already is so you can then adapt it to fit the new requirements. New work, it's all just going back and putting new things in on a new house. Service work, you got to have a lot of knowledge on a lot of different things because you never know what you're going to get into. So leaks on a pipe, clogged toilet, vent setter, maybe clogged, squirrel crawled into it or something.
Yeah.
But
anything can happen.
Oh yeah. So you just got to have a lot of different knowledge on a lot of different types of faucets as well. So I try to keep my guys with a little understanding of everything. That way they can plumb new houses or remodeling with service work in mind. That way when you get into it, you're not having to fight trying to figure out what someone had done before you.
But the vast majority of what you're doing is on the remodeling front,
yes, sir.
Is that right?
Remodeling and new work. We do a lot of new houses on the lake.
How do you know that you have a good plumber? What are some of the tests you would do to make sure you got a good guy, a good woman?
Well,
plumbing?
As long as you have someone who is licensed, that is always a good indicator. Not always the best indicator sometimes, but for the most part, if you have someone who is licensed, they generally know what they're talking about. The hardest part about finding a good plumber is finding one who stands by their work as well. You can have something installed, but if you're not willing to come back and maintain it in case something happens, then you're going to have issues down the road.
Which is something I presume you do. Mm-hmm. You stand by with a warranty.
Yeah, for sure. We have great warranty on our stuff, and generally if I have something that's easy, quick, I'll send my guys out, but if it's something that's like, okay, what's going on here kind of thing, I want to put my own eyes on it.
That's great. So the homeowner, actually, if there's an issue, can come directly to you.
Yep. Call me up. I'll be happy to go out.
And you have a team of guys around you, too.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about your team.
I've got an incredible team now. We have guys who've been doing a lot of new work and stuff in Florida. One of my guys, Chris, he is very good with service work, so he's got that service mindset as well. I come from a service and remodeling background mostly. We did some new houses, but mostly came from that. And I think having that knowledge really helps us. So I'm very glad to have a team with new work, experience, remodeling, and service work.
Well, it sounds like if you can do service work, you can do pretty much the others, right?
Yes, sir.
Or at least you have the knowledge to. Would that be accurate?
Yes, sir. It definitely depends on what side of service you were in. So having the knowledge to plumb, to think of service work in the future, that's where you really want to be.
Okay.
So if you have service knowledge, that's great, but you have to have the experience as well with that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. For those who don't have that skill set, how would you coach them on good maintenance of their plumbing system?
Flush out your water heaters, even if it's a tankless, you want to descale that. If you're going to be putting any cleaners in your toilet, do not put them in the tank of your toilet. They will eat everything away, they'll void your warranty, and they're just not really good for it.
That might be worth the whole episode right there. You want to say that again?
Yeah, so you can put any cleaners and stuff you want in the bowl of your toilet, but since the inside of the tank has all these rubber and plastic fittings and stuff like that, any cleaner that's in there will slowly break that down. Even if it's said it's designed for it, don't do that. Also, don't flush flushable wipes. They are not flushable.
What about seasonal maintenance? Winterization, do you have any pointers on that front?
So definitely you want to cover up your hose bibs unless you have those frost-free ones. I still like to cover them just in case. If you have a crawl space, you may want to just double check your traps and stuff just in case that you're living in a very cold area. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about that.
What about the luxury demographic? You do a lot of work more on the higher end. Tell us a little bit about some of the work that you're doing in that demographic.
So we do a lot of houses on the lake. They're wanting to go with a lot fancier things like tankless water heaters on everything. We had one house that we installed 7 of them on.
7?
Yeah, it was about a 20,000 square foot house. One house we had installed kitchen sink faucets. You could just walk up and say, I need a cup of water, and it'll automatically give you a cup of water.
No way.
Exactly 1 cup.
And it's not going to overflow, it's just going to be right there in 1 cup?
Exactly 1 cup.
Well, we were actually just talking to Chasidee at the Gateway showroom in Greenville about a sink can actually produce carbonated water, boiling water.
We installed that at that same house with the 7 water.
Really?
Yep. We had 2. There's 2 kitchens there that had that unit has carbonated, hot, and cold water coming out. All filled.
Like hot in the sense of boiling hot.
Like boiling hot.
My goodness. When it comes to the future of plumbing and some of the things that are coming, here's a little pun, plumbing pun, down the pipe. What do you foresee?
There's so much technology that's happening right now. We've installed several toilets that when you walk in the room, the seat comes up. It just automatically opens up and you got a little screen that you can click and flush your toilet and your bidet and heated seat and all that kind of stuff. Touchscreen showers.
I had no idea. That's really interesting.
It's incredible the things they come out with now.
It senses you coming in, it just gets ready for you to just take a seat.
Yep. One thing I really like is the Moen flows. They also have other brands, but I really enjoy the Moen. It's a lot easier to work with, in my opinion. So it's just a water shutoff, but you can connect it to your phone. So if you need to cut the water off, like you're driving down the road, you're like, oh man, I forgot to turn the water off. Click a button on your phone. You don't have to worry about any leaks in your house.
And you just want to ensure that it's off. You can check as well.
And if you have any leaks, it also has automatic leak detection, and it will turn the water off by itself. That way, if you're out somewhere at work or something, a small little leak happens. I've seen a small leak cause a lot of damage when it sits for a while, so it automatically will detect that and turn itself off.
And that's for your whole home. It's not just for the vanity or just for the toilet.
That is where it comes into the house.
That's amazing. Wow, I'm sure that does come in handy. And
it comes in very handy.
Saves a lot of water remediation down the road should there be a problem.
The technology is definitely going to be on the rise.
And you're staying cutting edge on that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How do you stay current on all of that?
I have great salesmen. Like I said, I'm 3rd generation, so I can always just call my family and talk to them. I also keep up to date with my Georgia license as well, so I'm having to go to classes in Georgia to do continuing education, so I'm constantly around new products.
When it comes to the luxury market, and you do a lot of work in that area, what would be the one thing that you would advise somebody who has a super nice home and they want to upgrade their plumbing? How would you coach them as far as, hey, consider this fixture, consider this idea, consider doing this?
Well, definitely I would say do something like a water mitigation system like the Moen Flow or the Flow Logic or anything like that. Just because if you're going to spend that much money on something, you don't want it to get ruined. Definitely would say a water heater, you want to go with the tankless in that kind of situation. You don't want to have, a bunch of family over, they're spending the night. end of the day, you try to get a shower and all of a sudden you don't have any hot water. There's nothing worse. Tankless
It's
water heater,
invigorating, but that's about it.
Tankless water heater is great because you generally don't run out of hot water. Only thing you would have to think about is if you have a bunch of bathrooms, you may want to go with multiple heaters. But yeah, that would be the biggest thing. And have a recirculation system so that way you don't have to sit there, cut the water on, and then wait for hot water. It automatically is right there at your tap.
Nice.
If you're going to live on the lake, maybe outdoor shower, stuff like that, so you can rinse off before you get inside and all that kind of stuff. So
good stuff. Well, when it comes to lake houses, are they plumbed the same way as all the rest of the homes?
For the most part, the plumbing's the same. Mostly the considerations of what's going into it is what you need to think about. So larger water pipe, generally larger drain because there's more bathrooms, or if they don't water down at the dock, all that kind of stuff, you got to accommodate for longer runs of stuff. So the plumbing itself generally is the same though.
Some folks have a well. Some people are on your county plumbing system. Are there any differences between the two when it comes to your role?
So definitely want to have a filter. The filter you're going to need for a well versus city water will be different. Generally, a well will need more filter stages.
Because of the sediment, I guess, in the well?
For the sediment, all that kind of stuff. I've had some where specifically rough water patches, they want to have like an infrared light to go ahead and clean the water as well. So it has the filtration, but it also cleans and like sanitizes the water. We have put in a lot of the really huge filter units where it automatically flushes itself and all that kind of stuff in a lot of these newer luxury homes.
On that note, how can they reach you if there is somebody who would love to talk to you?
You can either go to the Trusted Tradesmen website and you can find our number there, or you can call me directly, 864-791-3994.
One thing I love about Trusted Tradesmen, you guys, is y'all have a generous giving side.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
talk a little bit about how you actually look for opportunities to help people?
If we have someone like we work with who goes to church with someone who may have a heavy need that is a plumbing related need, we're more than willing to help them on that kind of thing. Electrical as well. We have a ministry that we enjoy working with, so if they find a need in the community, like we can go out and we can help them. We have a project coming up tomorrow actually, where we have someone who is in a situation where they just don't have any working plumbing in their home. So we're going in, we're trying to put in a new toilet and shower and all that kind of stuff. So if there is a need, we try to help when we can.
Garth, this has been very, very good. Being
glad to
able
be
to
here.
get a little taste of what you do.
Yes, sir.
And the approach you take to plumbing. I know there's people out there that are looking for you.
Well, give me a call. Happy to be there.
Are you interested in remodeling your home? Well, reach out to us at danielbuilders.com and we can help you get that process started.